You know, we've been tricked. For decades, we've been told our vote doesn't matter. We've been convinced that showing up at the polls is just a waste of time. And too many of us have swallowed that lie. But here's the problem. When we don't show up, we give the people in power permission to ignore us. Not because they're stronger, not because they're smarter, but because we didn't show up in numbers strong enough to make them pay attention. Let's be real. A lot of us will show up to vote for president. We'll get in line every 4 years because we see that as the big election. But when it comes to city council, school board, mayors, judges, most of us don't even research who's on the ballot. Some of us don't show up at all. That's where the trap is, because while we're waiting every 4 years for the president to fix our community, the decisions that hit us every single day, our schools, our streets, our taxes, our jobs, those are decided locally, and too often we just give those seats away by not participating. Imagine this, 10,000 people in your city can vote, but only 3,000 show up. That means 7,000 people, voices, needs, struggles, just went unheard. So when leaders sit in the back rooms and make decisions, they don't even have to care about those 7,000 because silence looks like consent. That's why it feels like nothing changes, because in many of our communities, it's not that voting doesn't matter, it's that we don't show up consistently enough to make our needs impossible to ignore. Yes, we've made some progress as a people. We've gotten more access and opportunity than the generations before us. But look around our neighborhoods. Schools underfunded, streets neglected, businesses are boarded up. Why? Because the wrong people keep getting chosen to lead. And if we're honest, part of the reason they get chosen is because we didn't do the work of showing up, vetting them, and holding them accountable. I'll tell you the truth. I used to be guilty myself. I never missed a presidential vote. But when it came to the local elections, I didn't even research the names on the ballot. I just left it blank. And if I, somebody who studies and questions everything, fell for that trap, I can only imagine how many of us have too. That has to change. We cannot afford to sit out anymore. We cannot afford to say our vote doesn't count. That's the lie. That's the setup. That's the trick that keeps us powerless. The move is simple. We got to research the candidates. Don't just take their slogans. Look at their track records. Show up every election, not just for president, but for school board, city council. Hold them accountable. And once they make it in, make sure they know that we're watching. Our grandparents marched, bled, and in some cases died for the right for us to vote. They didn't go through all of that just for us to hand the power back by staying home. So I'll say it plain. If we don't show up, we can't complain. If we stay silent, the system will keep treating us like we don't exist. But if we stand up, if we show up in numbers, if we make our voices heard, then we don't just vote. We send a message. We remind the system that we're here.